saw the line outside Sergeant Sunday last night on the way home from hockey. 60, 80 people deep. You can get the same ice cream somewhere else, but I digress. It does come with the territory. Extras that go with barbecue food need it. A good sangria. Yeah. Cold beverages. They don't have to be alcoholic, but they taste better for sure. Wendy, I thought that I made it. Oh, I hope you're referring to the points. You'll see yourself on the visual graphic. If you hit the base camp, it's the first like treasure. Pretty cut and dry. So I don't know, maybe you did, but I don't see your name here. So too many social events. Yeah. Wendy, you might have got in late before. I should have just reviewed before I got on the call. More socializing than normal. Yeah, that's going to keep coming up. That's certainly a big one. Okay. So hopefully you can see my screen. I've got this chat set up and should be good. All right. So what is this? Summer doesn't derail progress necessarily. It's the panic associated with it that does. And frankly, our calendars are more full with stuff generally associated with calories, right? Beverages, barbecues, even weddings, a meal's put in front of you, desserts put in front of you. You don't really have a whole lot of choice about those nights. Okay. So the ones who come out ahead aren't the ones with more willpower or just like suffer through it. They're the ones who decided what they needed to do before they needed to. So we plan. Okay. So the first strategy is what I talk about often, the work back method. Reen. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one too. Eating out because I don't feel like cooking. Yeah, for sure. So before the big meal out, log your best guess at what you'll order. This is fairly easy if you're going to a chain restaurant where everything's on their website or in the food tracking app of your choice. So you quite literally make that choice, a pre-commitment to yourself. This is what I'm ordering, and the rest of the day has to fall in line. Because once you log that, it'll tell you, I've got 800 calories left. So how do I make this work? Well, you build your breakfast and lunch around fitting in the calories for that dinner or whatever you're eating at. Lunch could be too. Okay. So logging prior is a pre-commitment that you'll likely make that choice, but it also ensures that you plan the rest of the day around it. Okay. We'll talk about sometimes it makes sense to have a maintenance day, but this is if you're still trying to hit your targets. Okay. This is for events that aren't in restaurants or places where you get to order yourself. It's more about the one plate rule. So you go to a barbecue or potluck, it's kind of, a free for all. So you have one plate, you make the choices you make, but it has to fit on that plate. And obviously you can go a little liberal with this and pile your plate high, which is not the design of this, but it's, forcing you to not go for seconds, not graze the entire time you're there, to sit far enough away from the table where you can't just grab the handful of chips nonstop. This still keeps it fun because you get to choose what you want, but it doesn't turn into like an all-night thing where you just overconsume too many calories. Okay. So the one plate rule. Type a yes if that's something you're open to trying. No, if it's not. That's cool too. It's not like you have to take all these strategies and run with them. Okay. Pillar 3 is what we've talked about in the past. I think that was in early July. Training on the 5-2 method. Wendy's going to try it. That's good. So what this really means is 2 days sit at maintenance calories, but the other 5 run a tighter deficit in order to compensate. The math still works. Now, this is my go-to if I'm just trying to maintain over summer. And I don't have to have an overly tight deficit those 5 days. But if you're trying to lose a pound per week or 1% of your body weight per week, you do have to compensate somewhere, and often means 100 or 200 calories on those other 5 days to allow for 2 maintenance days. So not for everyone. I would suggest it's probably better to just have balance each and every day, but at least it gives you an option. If you know you're going somewhere, a weekend getaway, you're not going to track. You're going to just say, I'm going to try to maintain. I'm going to eyeball. Then those other 5 days should be pretty good. All right. Good stuff. Pillar 4, protein before anything else, largely because it's less likely you'll overeat once you fill up on the lean proteins. Okay. So hopefully especially in the summer, generally you can find some protein, even at a barbecue. May not be the leanest cut of meat ever, but start with that, blunt your hunger, protect your muscle, and then you, generally speaking, fill up on that. And yes, you have other stuff, but it doesn't, spill over, push your numbers too high. Okay, it's a real hack. Type 1 if this is making sense so far. And of course, use the chat for questions. And we will open it up afterwards. Okay, great. Good stuff. All right, I had to address the alcohol one because it came up in the chat. So I know where people's heads go this time of year. I'll just caution that it adds up fast and it lowers your guardrails for everything else. You get food goggles. It's like the munchies with marijuana. And you've had a few drinks, it messes with your blood sugar and you will crave more bad foods. Plus your inhibitions have dropped. Your willpower is like, F it. That's a problem for future me, not current me, right? So everyone knows their limits, or hopefully does. So if you can have a beer or two and feel completely fine and still be fully in control of your food choices, more power to you. I would just treat it like a pre-logged meal and actually track, because even low calorie options, alcohol has 7 calories per gram, right? So it still adds up. So decide your drink count in advance. Yes, and I think I was going to talk on this too, Alana, is the peer pressure around alcohol. It's an interesting one. You feel like the odd person out and you aren't partaking. And when people see you not partaking, they almost want to force their bad habits on you. So it makes it hard. I absolutely agree with that. So some people put a seltzer in a red Solo cup or club soda or a calorie-free beverage and just pretend to drink. If that's the people you're around, maybe you want to distance yourself from those who force drinking on others. But I mean, if it's family and friends, try to partake without actually partaking if that works for you. Oh, Kristen. Ban on drinking and okay. I like that. That is interesting. I think there is a real trend towards sobriety these days, which is probably a net positive. There you go, Alana. All right. Okay. There is that. Next up. Oops. I moved too fast. Pillar 6. Yeah, I think the 2-to-1 ratio of water to alcohol is a good idea, Doug. Keeps you sane. Keeps you kind of making the right choices. Plus, you don't get so dehydrated that you feel like crap the next day. Protect sleep. In summer, sun doesn't go down in our parts of the world till very late. So we need some blackout blinds. We need to keep our routine in place because, as you guys understand, if you don't get your quality sleep, your willpower is already at half battery, right? When you wake up, your hunger hormones are elevated. Cravings are very real from a lack of sleep. Kind of puts you in that fight or flight mode. So continue to have a good routine. Try your best, even on vacation, to treat sleep as a non-negotiable. You'll probably enjoy the trip more if you're rested, but easier said than done. So keep those standard good habits in place because it is the foundation. It's hard to make good choices when you are sleep deprived. Okay. And this one speaks more to the training, but I think it can apply to anything. Like something always beats nothing every time. You can only track one meal. You're only controlling one meal. It's still better to track one meal than none at all, because then you can sort of guesstimate the rest of the day. Same with training. I would suggest a full week off is not a big deal here and there, but you guys understand the soreness you get when you take too long a layoff. Best to avoid that. So it really doesn't take much to maintain muscle and bone, like 2 full body workouts, where you're doing a couple sets for each muscle group, that will give you at least keep you in the game so that you don't miss too much time, re-injure or potentially re-injure yourself, but more so that DOMS, that soreness that comes from taking a lay off. I find it's never worth it. The leg pain is not worth it. So staying in the game, not hitting personal bests. Even when you're traveling, hotels do have gyms to make it work. All right. Yeah, keep the tips coming. I like that. Pillar 8, one meal doesn't need a punishment. So this is kind of important takeaway is don't try to undo the damage. I talked about that 5-2 approach, but the worst thing you can do with that is like binge, purge, binge, purge. That creates kind of an unhealthy relationship with food. So I suggest not trying to make up for it. It's in the past. Don't be guilty or shame yourself into starving the next day. The best thing you can do is just get back on the normal plan and you'll feel better for it. Okay. So unless you like fasting, I wouldn't suggest skipping meals the next day. Just you'll find any little extra water weight you get from overeating on a weekend is washed out by Wednesday. You're back at even square. Okay. Last but not least is knowing when it makes sense to kind of pull back on the reins and when to kind of double down. Like on a work trip, I suggest trying to keep the system running because if you have more work trips, you need to kind of have a system down to handle that. So you still have your structure of meals and steps and workouts. But if it's an actual vacation, you feel like taking a bit of a step away, totally cool, right? I like checking out new gyms, but I'm weird on vacation. But I definitely pull back the reins on my nutrition. And if I don't feel like tracking, I don't. Especially if it's like Mexico all inclusive. Like there's no way I'm going to be tracking. So know when it makes sense to just go into maintenance mode, get your movement in, still prioritize protein, but not track every morsel, and know when it makes sense to stick to the plan, right? And only you can answer that. Okay, so in summary, I would just be curious to know which one you are open to implementing, or if there's multiple, type multiple. So just type the number like 1, 2, 3 through 9. Yeah, that makes sense. Kirsten is the challenge of strenuous hiking and needing more calories, and sometimes listen to your body. And that's also the challenge with like hard exercise and why I'm not a huge proponent of, say, intervals or playing a lot of rec sports because the compensation effect of ramping up appetite and then you're so fatigued you just lay on the couch and you actually don't stay in a deficit. But for you, the odd hike, I would say compensate by eating more. Listen to your body. Okay, Kim's going to try 1 and 4. Aiden's got number 8 penciled in. Yes, good. Healthy. Yeah, the protein first one, 1 and 5. Okay, so yeah, I think the work back method is probably the most effective one for this time of year. And that's coming up a lot in your answers. Got 2, 1 plate rule. Nice. Okay, awesome. So let me just close this out. And any questions or tips? We've got a good group on today, so I'd love to get some open floor engagements for what worked for you in July. That would be cool too.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Can you explain a little bit more about the 5-2 method?
I can. Yeah, I guess you would have been missed from I'll send you that training we did last month. That'll help. But the big takeaway is 2 days you're in maintenance calories. So we can figure that out, what your maintenance is. And 5 days you're in a slightly more aggressive deficit than we would be if we just said this is your target for 7 days a week.
Oh, okay.
So it's as simple as that. It works out to the same. It's just you have to, almost suffer a little bit more those days so that you have a bigger calorie buffer on the weekends.
Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps.
Yep. No, that helps. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Who else? Suzanne looks to be trying to unmute, but I could be wrong. Well, a lot of finger touching on the screen. think I can ask you to unmute. Did that work?
Am I unmuted now?
You are, yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm still trying to figure out this screen here, newbie. But I would be interested in one maintenance day on the weekend. Is that what the questions, everybody's sort of answering one and all of that stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, there's no hard rules on that, but that was one option, is to use the 5-2. Can you still see me? My screen is.
No, I can't. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I
there we
can.
go.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
there we go.
Yes, Doug. That's one problem with the 5-2 is if you're in the points-based challenge, it just tracks a pass-fail based off your daily calorie total. And I'm actually looking to get it set up for carb calorie cycling. So my IT guy is working on that for next time. So if you're in a challenge, it would penalize you if you go down that road. So keep that in mind. But you can pass the challenge and still have a maintenance day week. I already factored that in the totals. Okay. Sorry, is that you? Someone's got their hand raised. Oh, it went down. Okay. Technology. Who's next? I think that's still you, Suzanne. So I'll just mute you for now. Don't be shy. Anything else?
I came in late, so I kind of missed what the gist was. You mean like
Yeah.
5 days rigid?
I'm going to pull up that last slide
Thanks.
and share it again. Okay. So it's just 9 tools to navigate the summer is the idea.
Oh.
So which one did you have a question about?
No, I was just wondering if what the 5-2 was.
Yeah, so that's 2 maintenance days a week and 5 tighter deficit days.
But maintenance doesn't mean you can go whole hog.
No, it doesn't. Yes, there is a real caveat to that. It's basically 400 to 500 calories higher than what we have you set off at. Because assuming you are eating in a deficit of 500 calories a day, you lose maybe a pound per week. That goes for the averages, not rarely does it fall in line with reality. But essentially, you have 2 days where your calories are 500 above where they are today.
Yeah.
But we may have to compensate for that buffer on the other days. It just depends what your goals are right now, right? Everyone's different.
Right. Right.
But we can talk after if we want to explore that option. But pros and cons for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Jackson says, lately I've been having my protein shake later in the day. Oh, yeah. I'm able to adjust it based on what I need. Yeah. Makes sense. Good tip. Anyone else? This camera is so high, it's confusing. I'm looking up there. Yes, no? Jackie's moving around. Maybe you have something to say. Just setting up. Oh, okay. No worries.
Can I ask another mention?
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like I'm cheating on the protein side because you eat the protein bar, but then I do a lot of milk with protein powder and instead of the eggs or the chicken or whatever, and I start doing the easy stuff. I don't know whether that's healthy or not.
Yeah.
It is easy.
You'll get different opinions on that.
Yeah.
I find if your hunger is controlled, then the easy stuff works within reason. It's usually the whole foods help with like suppressing hunger for longer. And that's where if someone's really struggling to adhere, I'll try to shift more of their calories and protein to whole foods.
Okay.
It's not inferior necessarily as a protein source. Like whey is one of the most bioavailable options. I think you absorb a lot of it. It's good. But it doesn't fill you up like a piece of steak would, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the main reason. I like at least 50% of your protein coming from whole food sources, but there's no real science behind that.
Okay.
You got a couple whole food meals.
Yeah.
You're getting some actual protein.
When I was just got back from Vancouver, it was a health food store. I picked up these packages of vegetable whey or vegetable powder. They were horrible, just horrible
Yeah,
tasting.
yeah, that's an acquired taste. There's
Boy,
a
is it
couple
ever.
decent for those who are plant-based. I don't know. I don't want to call you guys out, but do you have like your go-to protein powders? Because I know I tried one at the retreat that was rather chalky from Vega because I
Yeah,
wanted to have that as an option. Some people are, lactose intolerant,
right.
and I haven't touched it since. It's in my
Yeah,
pantry.
me neither.
So, Jackie, you may have an idea there of what works for you because I've yet to find one that's comparable to the taste of whey, but you're up. There you go.
Vegan protein, yeah.
You
Hi
gave some
there.
examples of
There
that.
we go. Yeah, I have found there's a few that I'm really enjoying. I would say vegan is really good. I find you have to blend it in a blender to like get the consistency right. Like the little handheld frother doesn't really do the trick. But it's really good. Like the macros are amazing. But like right now, I think they're getting really popular because it's actually hard to buy it right now. So I guess that's a good thing. And then Good Protein is a brand that's really good and mixes up really nicely. They've got wonderful flavors and they do lots of like limited edition flavors around the holidays and stuff. So that's been really good. And I just found a new brand that I've been really enjoying as well called Diesel. And I think they do like they have a vegan line and then they do like a
Yeah,
whey line as well. And that one's been really good. I've got a couple flavors. So
yeah.
yeah, no, those are kind of my go-tos lately.
The diesel's good, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
used Diesel and with their whey products. So I didn't know they had a plant-based option. So that's good.
Yeah, I think I've seen
Mhm.
like three different flavors just at the grocery store. I've seen them at Safeway and Superstore lately.
Nice. Yeah, because the advantage with plant-based, especially if you have any sort of digestive issues with whey, then you shouldn't have it with the plant-based alternatives. So I've never had issues with whey, knock on wood, but I know that's fairly common.
Mhm.
So there's a few more options coming in the chat here too. Lean Fit. Yeah, that's the one from Costco, maybe. Whey tastes so much better to me, but acquired taste. I think it's just they've come a long way with plant-based. It used to be really chalky,
Yeah.
almost insufferable. It's getting better, and those vegan would be the one to try, I guess, right, Jackie? If you don't want
Yeah,
the chalky taste. Okay.
yeah, like yeah, with that one, like it had like the macros are wonderful, and depending on the flavor, and they have like really good flavors.
Oh, she cut off for me. Anyone else? Frozen? Oh, good. Right at the punchline. Okay, so vegan would be the one to look into if you don't handle whey well, want to try a plant-based option that still has good macros. I'll try to find a link for you guys. All right. Anyone else? We'll have to let Jackie finish her thought another time. She's frozen solid. All right. Going once, twice. All good? All righty, guys. Have a good rest of your week. We'll chat soon. Cheers.